Hello and everybody. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm distracted. Why would I try to start doing this when I'm busy reading stuff? Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I am your host, Ty Christensen. It's the little things that are important, Jimmy. It's the little things that get you caught. We've got Jordan Christensen.
You're no fun. I can't think of any other good one with Jared Leto.
My quote was going to be, "Hi, I'm Jared Leto."
I was gonna do. Oh, his. What does he say?
I don't remember what he says. Oh man.
Yeah. Is that in the interrogation room?
Yep. What do we got here? We got Cameron Mickle on the pod.
No, I'm not gonna say that quote.
Just do it. I just want to hear it.
I'll do that. I'll do my actual one after this. We got roast beefs, we got strippers, we got hookers. Homie, you don't know how lucky y'all are. No, I liked it when he said, and he's like, "Do you believe in God, Joe?" He said, "When I see a sunrise or a thunderstorm or dew on the ground, yes, I think there's a God. When I see all this, I think he's long past giving a shiz."
Long past feeling, yeah, that's for sure. When you think about all the hate that's going on in the world that we live in, people keep on giving in. Making wrong decisions of the people. Oh, sorry, Black Eyed Peas. What was I?
Yeah, I was like,
where is the love? Yeah. So we're gonna talk about this movie. It's called The Little Things.
people hurt.
This movie came out in 2021. Just came out. So he's out. Guys, this movie was directed by none other than John Lee Hancock. Don't know what else he's done. What else has John Lee Hancock done?
I like how you're building it up.
This guy. What did he do? This guy, okay, he was a writer for The Blind Side. He was the director of Highwaymen. He was the director of Saving Mr. Bank. Very interesting.
That explains this tone.
Let's see, what others did he direct? Paradise Lost, Highwaymen, The Founder. There you go.
Oh, I like
knew
The
there
Founder.
Was
Founder's good.
I do like The Founder.
Founder's great.
Yeah, and I feel like either you should have leaned more into the crony capital. I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about this movie.
Me too.
So let's get into this movie. What was it like watching it the first time and rewatching it for the podcast? Let's start with you, Jordan.
So I saw this in the theater with my roommate. He's a huge Jared Leto fan. He's kind of got me on the Jared Leto train.
I am a huge fan of Jared Leto, mind you.
Maybe for different reasons.
More than Jared Leto, because he doesn't watch his own films. Jared Leto doesn't watch his own movies, guys. I have it on good word from the man himself. I don't watch my own movies. Okay. Maybe you might learn a thing or two if you rewatch some of your performances. Talk about never looking back.
I have to mention, too, this was the movie. So after I saw this on the dating app, I told the girl I saw it, and she's like, "Oh, you saw that movie? That movie's rated R. Like, what else am I going to learn about you?" And it was about this movie. So that was
what else
funny.
am I going to learn about you? I've got your cat in my closet. It's tied up. It's dead.
I'm secretly a serial killer.
Picking it apart. Yeah.
So I actually really enjoyed this movie.
What else am I going to learn about you? I'm sorry. That's too great.
I know.
What else are you hiding?
Yeah, who is she, Denzel?
Yeah, something's up with you. I know. He's our guy. We know he's our guy.
So the second time I actually enjoyed it more. I was shocked that I enjoyed it more rewatching it for this podcast, because it was like all those like the little things that you notice throughout it that you're like, oh my gosh, like there's a lot of details, and it takes a lot of my favorite things from different movies that I love, like Manhunter, and he kind of works things out in his head.
Mad Seven vibes.
In Seven, yes. And in Seven, when he gets to the part when he's eating with the family and he's laughing, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like almost like a complete remake of that scene when...
on Seven, Morgan Freeman's talking with Brad Pitt and Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, and he's like starting to realize like, oh, there's still humanity out there, because he's so lost in himself and in these cases, like... He doesn't even recognize himself.
I interpreted it the other way. I saw it as the wife seeing, this is what my husband's going to become if he stays on this path.
Now, I think both are going on right at that moment, Cameron. I agree with that. I agree with the assessment that, because she gave a few worried looks for sure. And yeah, it's exactly what happened. Spoiler alert. So I like that, Cameron. And because it's very obvious that they cut to her a few times where she seems very concerned. And I always think, what? And then like at the end, I'm like, oh yeah, like Shay was worried he's going
I
to
know,
become
I'm
just
like,
like
I'm
him.
like, he's a
I didn't
cop,
see that
and then I'm
coming.
like,
I'll be
oh.
honest. It's the little things because I didn't see that coming. Where I'm like, oh, he did what he did. Got it. Although it's different because he didn't do exactly what he did.
He
but
did what he did.
lost himself in the job because. Did Denzel Washington really lose himself in the job? I guess he's played by
Yeah, it was
guilt.
just unfortunate. It was
Yes.
just an unfortunate situation. It's like, dude,
Yes.
that's like literally, it's the exact same thing as insomnia. Just getting totally shafted by the situation.
Yes,
You're
yes.
just like, well,
you
I'm
accident.
screwed.
Yeah. You accidentally fell prey because of everything going on. He shoots this victim. Am I to understand this correctly? So, Denzel Washington shoots one of the victims that survived this horrible ordeal with the serial killer, but he got surprised and
sad.
shot her. Right? Is that what happened?
Yeah, because
Oh.
he was just like, he wanted to get the killer so bad. When he heard somebody
Right.
running, he fired without like
He fired
announcing, without
thinking.
seeing if they had a gun.
Thought he might be getting the killer, and then it was another victim that had survived. Now, what surprised me again? So
I'm sorry,
going
but
right. Yeah.
It's like it almost made me laugh just because I'm just like thinking of the situation. Like, imagine you just escaped the serial killer, and you're like, "Oh, the police!" And he was like, "Freeze!" Boom.
Gosh.
Police
That's dark.
brutality at its best.
Police, you can save me. Get on the ground. What? Save me, please.
Help me!
Suicide by cop.
Cameron, that was like the ending of Saw. Remember that? Where he's like, they finally save
Oh,
Samuel
yeah.
Jackson, start unloading on him.
And then they start just. Oh, that's so funny.
Oh my gosh, poor Samuel L. So let's so thanks for sharing. You
That's
liked it
real
on
Bruce
second
Willis
viewing
brutality.
more, Jordan. I like that. So I watched this.
Wait,
movie.
Jordan didn't finish it. What
No, I
he
did.
was talking about.
Yeah, he said he liked it more the second time. I like that. Because I would say I watched this movie and I was kind of perplexed at a few times because I liked a lot of this movie. I'll say this movie had one thing going for it: Jared Leto and Denzel Washington. Like I was so intrigued, and then I heard it was a murder film. I was like, say no more. I will see it, even if it's bad. I had to see it.
Yes.
Like, and I looked
I
at the
love
Rotten
Rami
Tomatoes
Malek too. Rami
after.
Malek is great.
He is pretty. He's growing on me.
Did
I
he
like
remind you,
him from
Ty,
Mr.
of
Robot.
his character from the Queen movie, Bohemian Rhapsody? He kind of did that same
No.
voice.
Oh, you guys, watch him in like Mr. Robot. Rami Malek is
Is a strange human being.
he's a weirdo. Yeah, he's like an alien. He
He's
reminds
like
me
a
of Joaquin
Jake.
Phoenix. Yes, he is very much.
He's a Jake
even,
Gyllenhaal where they're just like.
No, but even weirder because Jake Gyllenhaal can still be really
Yeah,
charming. Rami Malek is super weird. He'd be that guy at the
Joaquin
party.
Is very.
I've yet to see
watched
Rami
Joaquin
Malek
on,
in
like,
an
a game
interview
show.
let loose. Like that guy is, like he is
Yeah,
an
dude.
alien wearing skin, like
Human
yummy
skin.
yummy human
why,
skin.
Why are you wearing that man suit, Ty?
Why are you wearing that band
That's
suit?
what
Yeah.
Joaquin says every.
That is
night when
Rami
he's in the
Malek.
mirror.
Yes. He is genuinely a weirdo. So, anyway, more than Jared Leto, who is a national treasure. So, I would say, yeah, I was so pleased with this cast. I was just like, I have to see this movie. So, watching it, I was a little struck by how much more stoic it was because I kind of suppose there'd be a lot more suspense. This movie is just straight out drama. I know that there's a murder mystery behind this, but I would just call this movie a drama. And I know that saying that because it is a crime mystery, but notice there's no suspense, there's no
Can you
thrill.
call it crime,
It's
though?
very much brooding, foreboding, and even a crime. Yeah, it is a crime movie. I mean, obviously it centers around the detective and the victim and the criminal, but or the killer, but it's. I don't know. I do like this film, but I have a lot of questions about it. And maybe they're nitpicks that maybe you guys, maybe discussing it, I could work through it. So like I said, watching it for the first time, I do want to actually see it again. I love hearing that you said you liked it more the second time, Jordan, because that makes me hopeful that I could watch it again and enjoy it more than I did the first time. Cameron, how about you? What was it like watching it for the first time, rewatching it for the podcast?
Yeah, I've only had the chance to watch it once. I was really excited to watch it, and while watching it, it gave me like a lot of Zodiac and Seven vibes. Just very kind of like that slow burn, like drama, thriller, like crime, where you're like, oh freak! Like as soon as like, because it's so intense when like a serial killer or murderer is like very in control. That's I think the most intimidating thing. That's like. That a person can do. It's
Cat
way
and mouse.
scarier than someone way scarier to me than somebody like, oh, I'm gonna murder you. When someone's just like, oh, I'm a big crime fan, and you're like, what? Get the fudge out of this office, man. Like, oh, he's so creepy. And
You got me. I played the 11th or whatever, or the 5th, or whatever he says, right? Just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, you should have seen your faces. I'm just like,
Yeah.
my man, he's literally toying with them. So I love that. And there was a lot of parts that I really did enjoy about this, and I think it is a really well done film.
Take it easy, Cameron.
There's just a few things that are just like,
Take a good long think.
I don't know how to kind of like put it into words necessarily. It was great. I just felt like it was kind of an unsatisfying ending where it's just like, I was like, did I miss something? Kind of what happened? Because it's like Zodiac.
Cameron,
If
just
you
all
take
the
out
little
all
things.
the
You
stuff-
missed all the little things in there. Okay?
Yeah, clearly I did.
You saw all
'cause,
the
like,
big things.
It's like,
There's a few big things.
it's almost like Zodiac if you took out all the stab scenes and all the murder scenes out of it, and then they took what's his name, the guy with the matching boot and stuff like that, from what's it called? You know who I'm talking about? Who had the Zodiac watch and everything? If they would have taken him
Fargo?
into a field and and just like murdered him. That's how I was just kind of like, what? But I did like kind of the character arc for Rami Malek, and the character set up for Denzel Washington was so great. They did so much show don't tell that like you saw his 15 years working at the force within like 20 minutes of the film, which I thought was so impressive because like you could tell by everyone that he knew, and then like just like his nature, and I was piecing things together, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's what I love about a director who treats you like an intelligent viewer. So, but I did enjoy it, but there were some things that I just kind of have questions about.
Right. And see, that's the thing with Denzel Washington. He's so stoic. I had a really, because I want to get right into like things that I liked. He was so stoic. Like you said, Cameron, this first 2 acts of this movie are so good. I was so disappointed by the reveal at the end about Denzel Washington's
they draw
blunder.
you in so well.
And to be fair, I do like movies where a character makes a really sad mistake, but for some reason it was kind of a letdown, and it seems strange to me about, like, that was the thing that took him in. I almost wish it was like, you could argue it was obsession about catching the killer. It just seems so strange. I don't know. I almost wish it was like he was so obsessive about the case that his family and wife left him. I don't know, something like that. Like he lost himself, lost his soul. And instead it was like, in a heated moment, he killed the victim, and it is a sad moment.
He's getting calls to his home address, and he's just like, oh, but I gotta catch him. And she's like, you're putting our family in danger.
Yeah, stuff like that, right? And they do that in Zodiac, right? And I like that.
Jordan, Insomnia
arc.
did it better.
Insomnia. Insomnia, yeah, right? Like, Pacino, his best friend. Like, it's like, we're just so far down this rabbit hole. I need to get out now.
And
it's
then
affecting
also
me and my wife. I have to do what's best for my family.
Not in Alaska, too. Yeah, he's talking about, like, all the drama of, like, his forged and planting evidence.
Yes, previous.
From, yeah, and
all
that's
writing
affect
on
all of the cases that he's ever done. Yeah.
And that's what I think is interesting, because that's what I think this movie struggles with, is like, we realize why he didn't get the promotion, but what kind of upset me was like, you're telling me the police chief and the coroner, they all went along with this? Like, did they owe him anything?
That was like,
that kind of, I didn't get enough from that, and that's why I was disappointed, because in the end, I actually really liked the hostility that he had toward him, but I almost wish that he didn't remain a police officer at all, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want him fired in real life. I'm just saying, like, it's a travesty, but what I'm saying is, like, the idea that the coroner and the police chief were literally going to be like, yeah, we will allow this to just go, like, I don't know. No, I don't buy it. One, like, I don't know what the relationship was before, because it made sense, the relationship afterwards. Like, I know why they were treating him that way, and then that she was like, I'm willing to help you on this. But, yeah, so that's, like, one of the biggest things. It's, like, the twist at the end, it almost felt like a letdown, because I loved Denzel Washington's character, and I loved his chemistry with Rami Malek's character and their family. I loved all of that dynamic.
Jared Leto.
And even Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Yeah. Watching them go across from each other, because I'm like, I think
His beer belly makes me so uncomfortable. I feel like he's
and
molesting
the
me
limp,
with just
the
his
limp
belly.
too, the limp when he's walking around. Albert Sparma, man, just limping around the town. It goes from the strippers to roast beef to home. That's pretty much all he does. So that's life, man, right there. Yeah, it's I don't know. Like I said, so yeah, I addressed most of those things. I don't want to go in circles or sound like a broken record, but I did. What did you guys think? Do you guys have favorite things? Because again, I loved the characters and the setup in the first 2 acts of this movie. Those are my 2 favorite things for sure. How about you, Cameron?
Yeah, I'm sure Jordan's gonna mention it. I think, yeah, because Jordan said he's like, Jared Leto stole the show for me, and Jared Leto doesn't show up until like I think 44 minutes in, and I was just like,
Yep.
yo, where's he at? And dude, just at the side of him. As soon as it showed him look back, I'm like, he did it. I don't care what happened. He's the murderer. I was like, I don't care what evidence you have.
Yeah.
Anyone else, he's the murderer. And because Landon was like, maybe it's a setup or whatever, and it's somebody else framing him. I'm like, nope, it's him, bro.
Yeah,
Look at that face.
I
Look at
will
those
say,
eyes.
I
That's the eyes
almost
of a
wish
serial
Cameron see
killer.
that scene. That's just for us because he turns back to let the audience know that he knows that the police is onto him. But I almost wish that we didn't have that scene. Does that make sense? I like that look back. I like what Jared Leto was doing. But in the end, I'm like, I wish the director had a little bit more reserve to hold that. Yeah, withhold that information because now we know that he's onto him. And then that's not the reveal later on when he goes into the police precinct and he's like, oh, you guys have nothing on me. Like, I'm a nobody. You know, like we already knew that he was onto him, and then when he goes into the police precinct, he's all like, "Oh, I would be under arrest if you guys actually had anything. You guys need me here to confess to something, and I'm not going to do it." You know, like very common exchange. You know, the police and the detective, or the criminal and the detective going head to head.
Well,
you know,
okay,
again,
you
Insomnia
keep calling
did it
him
really
a
well,
criminal. He's what did they say? A criminal until proven guilty. I'm sorry, I don't think he's actually. After talking about it with my roommate, I don't think he's actually the killer.
You don't think he's the killer? See,
No.
see, I actually like that aspect of it too. I do.
Yeah.
I actually really like that because again, it isn't conclusive, is it?
I mean, yes, I agree, Cameron. He's a
Washington
freak
says
of
he's the
nature
guy.
and a sicko.
Oh, creep, you know, perv, all
I
the
don't
things.
think he's the killer.
But
I don't.
Jordan,
I think it's very
I've
possible.
never
that he's
killed
not.
anyone in my entire life.
Exactly. I honestly believe
The way
that.
he says that, though makes me so uneasy, and that's okay. But okay, no. So my favorite part about it is
I like
how
that, Jordan.
intelligent.
I don't think he did it.
Is how my first favorite part is like how intelligent Jared Leto is. Like he never says anything that will screw him over. It's playing like chess, and that's what the way he sees it. Like it reminds me of Death Note, of like the cat and mouse, of just the very intelligent. Of I'm not gonna say anything that's gonna like get myself like screwed over, but then at the same time I'm gonna toy with you as much as physically possible.
I'm gonna
Like,
take
it's
this bite of roast beef and eat it.
Eat it, yeah. And so, and then my second favorite thing is I kind of already mentioned it. Is just I thought Ty mentioned it as well, as the setup was so well done. Like, because that's what a lot of like movies really struggle with, especially in a shorter time. Like if it's under like 2.5 or like 3 hours, especially like under 2 hours, is being able to set up a film with a character and a background, especially for like a long history, well and quickly. And I felt like this movie just did that so well. And I was just like, I was so invested, and I was like, I want to learn more about his past. I want to see like a spinoff to where I see like him as an actual cop. He sounds like a dope cop. But
For sure.
yeah.
I want to see the 10 Netflix episode series of this. You know, I want to see the long, drawn-out drama of this because
And it's called The Big Things.
yeah, the big things, the little big things, or the little big things, or the big little things. How about you, Jordan? What are your two favorite things?
The littler
Two little things. Yeah. What are your two favorite little things about this movie?
So actually, like I mentioned it on rewatches better. So I like a movie that's great for background noise, and a lot of detective noir films are very good background noise, just very like calming. Music's great. It's kind of the unraveling,
Like Zodiac.
the unraveling of the case. So this has just been a great rewatch. So I've enjoyed that. And then I'd say Jared Leto, obviously Cameron mentioned, is my favorite part of this movie. He steals the show because Denzel Washington, like I love Denzel, but he does play a much more like broken, sad character. And so it's very different than his other characters. So I think him, like Ty said, kind of opposite of Jared Leto, really, I mean, it kind of amplified Jared Leto's performance because he was more reserved. So it kind of like just made Jared seem like such a freak of nature. Oh my gosh, just his look, just every time he's on screen, I just put the biggest smile on my face.
Yeah, see, and that's why I think this movie. See, it's funny because this movie, I think Insomnia was better at the setup or like the twist of why he needed or why he left. But I think this movie, I liked it more because you got to see kind of like the next 15 minutes of Insomnia happened in the last 15 minutes of this movie, of like seeing if that detective turned it in or not. because you see her break her and cross her like her moral line, because you see him cross his moral line the moment he swings that shovel.
Well, no, he crossed it a little while ago. Like he was doing plenty of things that he shouldn't have. And
Still though, but he still was not like.
I think it all started, Cameron, when he let Denzel Washington into his life. I think Denzel is a poison, and I think he is bad for him. And the problem is, like, all those people that were in on it, helping him cover up the wrong things he did, is eating away at him, and he kind of wants somebody else, unfortunately, to tutor and to bring him down. And sure enough, he did. And yeah, he quote unquote like tried to fix it at the end, but still, like,
maybe Denzel's the killer, and so he shot the girl. He didn't want her to identify him. I'm just saying, it's a possibility.
Oh my gosh,
it's a possibility.
It's a anything's possible. Oh my gosh, yeah. Well,
I
it
sound
would
like
explain
Jared
why.
Leto in the
It would
room.
explain why when he's in his bedroom and he sees the ghost of the dead victims in his bedroom and he doesn't seem fazed or haunted by them. He's just like
what
staring
the
at him.
fudge?
That was Cameron. I will say that theory just made me kind of look at this whole movie differently. I don't know if I believe it at all, and I don't have enough evidence to suggest that that's the case. But now my head is spinning, and I'm like, wait a minute. Are those all the little things?
I'm just
Is
saying,
it possible
maybe Jared Leto's like a copycat, and that's called. He heard about it, and so he's coming back to kill Jared Leto.
Yeah, I think
Because he doesn't want a copycat.
I think he's just one of those weirdos, Cameron, from Zodiac that come into the precinct and like to confess to murders because they just watch too much TV or they just love cases.
Copycat, yeah.
Or no. See, yeah, he's the guy who. What's it called? I have a basement. Let me show you.
Yeah.
That's who he is.
Well, because
and
even in his
he's
little
got fetishes, he's got a sick life. You know,
well,
he's
even
eating
his little
pizza,
box that they find, the same one from The Following,
Yeah.
like that. They
Clips
open it up,
of-
and all
yeah.
it is just like newspaper clippings of different
Yeah,
stories.
and so I thought that was interesting. So I like what you said, Jordan, about him being a bad influence. And Cameron, I even like that theory about him being actually killed them.
Just saying, it's a possibility.
Just saying. Because, yeah, so so Denzel Washington, I wanted to root for him more, and I thought that was interesting that he was like the tragic character and the fallen hero, because in the end, it was like from the very beginning, in the get-go, he made a big mistake, but then everyone was willing to cover it up for him, which is why that was the first issue I took with the movie, where
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know why that the police precinct would ever cover for him. It didn't make sense to me. Like, unless they like covered some history or showed that they were friends before, something. They didn't give us enough,
Yeah,
because
but
the
it
movie
kind of
just
seemed
shows
like
the
when they
scene.
saw them, they had like a very strong bond and connection, and like they'd been working together for years. And
Yeah.
Did you get that when they
That's
went
what I got.
to the case? I didn't get that sense.
Absolutely, with the girl,
You think?
100%, the coroner, 100%.
Yes,
I thought
yes.
they had a romantic.
Isn't-
I thought they had romantic past.
Isn't
as
she
well.
I
from
think they did too,
Nightcrawler,
yep.
Cameron, as well?
Nightcrawler?
Isn't she the cop interrogating Jake Gyllenhaal? I think she was.
She might be. Let me look
looks
it up.
very similar. No,
I'll look
I
her
don't
up.
believe so.
She
She's
was
the one that,
Flo Dunning.
and he's like, it's my job to record.
Oh, she's in Nightcrawler, dude.
Yeah,
She's
what up,
Detective
Nugget?
Frontieri.
She is.
Yep,
Oh.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
crazy.
she is not happy to see Jake Gyllenhaal in that movie. She's
Yep,
like,
she
you
shows up.
filmed your coworker dying.
Good catch,
It's
Jordan.
what,
Yeah,
it's what I do. I film.
Yeah, she kind of has like an iconic mole on her chin. It just
She
kind of
does.
reminds
It's
me.
quite the mole.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So
awesome.
I
She was great. She was great.
Yeah.
Jordan, keep going.
Also, I think it was very bad of him to, like, at the end, the first time I watched that, I'm like, oh, that's great that he, like, gave him the little hair thing or whatever. But watching it a second time, I'm like, that's a horrible thing, because what's going to happen now is he's going to think, like, his actions were excused, the horrible things he did to that guy.
But does he believe that he actually found it?
No, I think that's the right thing to do, Jordan, from Denzel's point of view, because what's it called? He's
The
never going to
noble
forgive
lie.
himself. He's never going to forgive himself, but like that's to give him like at least some peace of mind, to be like, what I did was inexcusable, but at least I got the right guy.
I don't know.
Are we to assume that Rami Malek's character believes it then?
I think he does.
I think he
I
did.
think he does too. I think he's pretty naive. I think the wife, not even knowing anything, I don't think she would believe it though. He probably would tell her that. But that's the thing. So I did think it was so interesting because I like the cover up. But see, what was different is one got covered up and one didn't. So that's why I didn't like. It wasn't the 1-to-1. Does that make sense? Like one was the victim, but the other one was the killer, and then it was about planting evidence and hiding it that it ever
Also-
happened, as opposed to like facing it dead on and saying the coroner's going to cover for me. Like, does that make sense? I just
But
kind of
they
wish they
both
were
covered it up,
similar. True, but
Yeah,
I
no,
almost
he's
wish
saying
that
they
Denzel
embrace
Washington's
the cover
killer.
up
Yeah, I
versus the other
almost
one that's,
wish.
like,
Yeah,
put it
I
under
almost
the
wish that
rug.
Denzel Washington's first crime down this rabbit hole would have been something similar to Rami Malek, where he killed. Because there's a great scene where he's in the precinct and he like finds out that Jared Leto's character is aroused at talking about the victim.
That's because he's a sicko.
Oh, I know, but what I'm saying is Denzel Washington has a moment where he tells Rami Malek, he goes, he's our guy. And you know it. Like, you got a feeling, I've got it too. You know it. And it's kind of creepy because it's like,
it's dangerous.
At all costs, we're going to nail it on this guy. Yeah. And I liked that. See, and that's why I was so looking forward to seeing an earlier case where he pinned it on some guy without, like, planted evidence.
Ty, it was that guy, remember, in the room, and then he, like, looks over at the glass and he knows Denzel Washington's behind it, and then he goes home and kills himself. Yep. Because he knows Denzel Washington had been harassing him, and I'm sure he got the news in on it. So I'm sure they harassed him, and so it ruined his life.
Did that guy go away for prison? Did he go away?
No, because
I thought he
was
broke his
innocent.
jaw.
But
he was innocent.
Denzel Washington broke that kid's jaw. He harassed him, so I'm sure it ruined his life forever. Right. And so this poor innocent kid was accused of the killings, and so he went home and killed himself because he's like, I'm not going through that again.
I remember that whole thing. I didn't realize that he tried to pin it on him, because I remember he asked her about the victim, and then the guy is sitting there and looks at the glass and knows that it's Denzel Washington's character. That was apparent. I didn't realize it was for the same two girl victims. Was it?
I'm just saying, Denzel, his character is poison.
Because he was trying to pin it on somebody else, because he actually killed them.
Karen, I love this theory, dude. Denzel Washington, Deke, man, Deke, and he was killing people left and right.
Dude, he's getting people killed at least. Like,
it's just like the Frogger movie. What's it called?
Frogger.
The cop is the serial killer.
I See You. Yeah.
I See You. I'm telling you, man.
So I think that's interesting. And again, like, see, as you talk about it, I do like it more for those reasons. I just almost wish, and now I actually like that tie-in too, because again, he framed it on him, and but see, I almost wish that the flashback had nothing to do with Denzel Washington killing the girl. Does that make sense? I just wish it would have been they should have just showed the cutback when they had the flashback. Just show that scene, like you said, that he tortured the guy and blamed him, and then in the end, it could have been like, the guy was innocent. Like, you have nothing on him. And then Denzel Washington would have been like, I refuse to accept that.
Yeah, he leaves.
And then his suicide is a lot more sad, because you're like, and again, they didn't need to insult our intelligence. They didn't need to give that much backstory. But do you get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't mind.
They should have done that tie and say, like, no, like, he's the guy. I know it. Like, I have that feeling.
Because it would have been the same thing where he's like, this creep, let's get rid of him out of circulation. It's fine. And then, like, all of a sudden, hard evidence came out saying, this is not our guy. We know for a fact. And then Denzel Washington could have, like, leaked it to the press, and then, like, it ruined that guy's life. And it's like, I refuse to let him go because I know it's him. And it's like, the guy definitely didn't do it. You know,
it's not a moral struggle that you accidentally murdered a girl. It's like, it's tragic and like the saddest thing ever, but it's not a moral struggle. It's like you accidentally shot him or shot her.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, but if it would have been the beating up and then focus on that, then it would have come full circle with the Jared Leto situation where he's like, don't get too involved, like Rami Malek, like this is what happened to me.
But also still straight out say, this is our guy. Don't you feel it? Like, it's something you know internally, and you can't mistake it for anything. And if people come to you with evidence suggesting otherwise, just plant your own evidence.
Yeah.
Buy a hair clip, frame him. Like, that's Denzel Washington's character. And just the idea that he accidentally killed this girl, it just kind of adds one more thing onto this that like I said, Cameron's theory about did he kill the girl, the creepy scene where he's in his bedroom and he's staring with a flashlight at the victims. He doesn't seem remorseful. He doesn't seem apologetic. He's stoic. But he kind of comes off as a psychopath. He kind of comes off as a crazy person.
It also probably isn't the first time that he's seen that. Yes. So he's probably is just like torturing him.
I think Cameron's theory is funny. I don't think it's real, though. You're like saying some crazy things. I don't know. But again, like I said,
you have to acknowledge that it is possible, Jordan.
Yeah, but again,
it might be a 2% chance.
Like his reaction to seeing them there. Remember, he said, "You make it your life." Remember, he told Rami Malek, he's like, "You work for them."
He is obsessed with the case, and I know I mentioned a minute ago that he released information to the press.
If he's so obsessed,
he never did.
He screwed up royally. He shot the victim and didn't pin the killer. Like, he's like, you just get someone. Like, how could you feel justified if he says make it about the victims when he clearly doesn't. Does that make sense? Like, he makes it about him and catching the guy regardless of what happens in the end. Because those girls aren't getting justice by putting it on some innocent person. Does that make sense? They're not getting the real killer.
Okay, well, one...
Because Denzel Washington is the real killer.
Yeah. I didn't really like how, what's called, like, he died with one shovel swing. I'm not sure, like,
Woo! Yeah.
that would instantly kill you. But also, I thought it was interesting because he did mention, as soon as he said, like, I saw, like, you should have stayed out of, like, the public eye. I've seen pictures of your family. I immediately thought of Seven, of, like, what's in the box. Because that's exactly what happened, is because as soon as Brad Pitt kind of got big, then, like, the final thing was, like, involving him. And so that's why I was like, oh my gosh, he's like threatening, saying the next one's going to be your wife. That's what I interpreted it as. And so that's why I kind of understood the swing more. Because at first, when I first looked at it, I was like, I mean, that's kind of
a little overreaction much? Yeah, you think, like, why did he just kill him right there? Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So, otherwise, like Jordan mentioned, like, I don't want to, like, go down the theory of the rabbit hole or anything like that, but I do find it interesting, and at least the idea that, like, there is more to Denzel Washington. But so I like what we said. I really do, because in the end, it's like, could I direct a better movie? No, but I almost feel like, just, again, it's the little things. So to his credit, he didn't give us the force-fed, he blamed it on this guy. I just almost feel like it was just almost too many things to be juggled at once. Like, Denzel Washington didn't need to kill an innocent victim to make you feel anything, because in the end, that's a tragic, like he said,
ruin the other kid's life and get him killed, like, that should be what he should be battling with.
Yes, because he kills himself, and he goes, Rami Malek is very accusatory. He's like, do you know anything about that? Your friend put a shotgun in his mouth this morning and went home to heaven, like, and it's like, all for saying one word to the guy. It was like, hey, ask him about this person. Like, wouldn't Rami Malek be like super duper red flags going up? Like, what is his history? Like, that doesn't go unnoticed on a cop. It's the little things. It's like, that you said two words to the guy and he kills himself the next morning. What the heck happened? Like, what happened? So, and again, I like that story more, but like Rami Malek, it's like, you're a glutton for punishment if you don't, like, he asks him outright, but then
they
it's
did kind
like,
of breeze over it.
Again.
He killed himself.
Yeah, he killed himself. And then Denzel Washington, what did he even say to him? He didn't even say anything. It's just,
He was our guy.
He was our guy.
We're on to the next one.
We're on to the next one.
Jordan says that, move over, Mondo Burger. Move over. No, I want to hear, so, Jordan, you said that you don't think it's Jared Leto. Ty, what do you think? I
like the idea that it's not, because it would fit into the first victim that killed himself, the guy that blew his brains out.
It makes sense.
It follows the consistent, and again, there's intentionally not enough evidence to pin it on Jared Leto, for sure. Like they said, they brought him in the first time. He goes, you can't arrest me because you don't have enough evidence. If you had anything on me, I'd be in cuffs. And then you follow him. He does despicable things. He's a gross person. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence, and even that is still not enough in a fair justice, court system, justice, to pin it on him, right? So he plants the evidence in the end, and.
Can we address him going Spider-Man mode and, like, crawling on the roof with all fudge?
Yeah, he was, like, crawling around. I did like, though, that Jared Leto was watching him on the roof.
Yeah, and then called an officer down.
Yep.
Freaking genius.
I like that.
As soon as he gets to the bar, they're not there. He's like, well, I know where they're at.
Yep, I know where they're at. They got me out of my apartment, and I thought that was great. All this cat and mouse stuff was really fun. I liked all of that. So again, there's a lot to admire. I just feel like it almost feels like Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3, where there's just like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3, where there's just too many villains or too many things. It's like, just keep it to the depending on the wrong guy and planting evidence. I like that. I don't need the accidental killing on top of it.
Dude, one of my favorite scenes
too much to unpack.
Is freaking when Jared Leto's like, it's right here. Oh wait, no, actually, I think it's over here.
No.
Actually, I think it's over. I don't have a freaking treasure map, okay? I was like, oh my gosh, dude, you know exactly like how to push people's buttons so well.
Yeah.
And that's why I genuinely, I think I agree with you guys. I think truly he is just a loner who doesn't have anybody in his life, and so he just enjoys like discussing things, and so he just enjoys playing, like, because he believes in the justice system. He believes that because he's not going to do anything wrong, that nothing's bad's going to happen to him, but he's going to push like the police's buttons as much as possible and make their life as miserable as his life is.
There are malicious people out there that don't do enough to merit prison, but you're like just the salt of the earth for sure. Just despicable, low life.
I think he's because like the fact that he would just waste his time or whatever, and just like even just the digging part. It's just
he has nothing better to do than
I didn't kill anybody,
with policemen. Yeah, for sure. So I do love the thoughts that were shared. Do you guys have any other questions or quotes you guys want to throw out? All right. No. So again, Jared Leto, man, thanks for letting us question: are you the greatest actor of all time? Acting opposite of freaking Denzel Washington. I gotta say, what a cast! And Rami Malek did a good job, and everyone else.
Oh,
did
and
too.
shout out to
and Cameron. I liked Michael Hyatt. Dude, she was great. She's a great actress. I love their chemistry between her and Denzel. Denzel was
She's
great.
Really cute as well.
Love that
but
chemistry
also
because I could understand her covering up the death. So that made sense.
Well, the police chief, I think he's just kind of like sees everything black and white and old school, and he's like, he got the bad guy, and he did an accident. We're gonna let it go.
Right.
Yeah.
And again,
but also,
dude.
Also, did you? I don't know if you noticed. I think it's Tom Haverford's girlfriend is the detective Natalie Morales. She was one of the detectives. She's Tom Haverford's girlfriend.
That's right. I knew I recognized her. Yeah. The detective. Yeah. Tom Haverford likes her, right? Yeah. Not the green card Canadian, but she's the second girl that he finds at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. I should have said the quote. I'm gonna need that beer for evidence.
All right, I'll bring you your for evidence.
Oh, I also had to throw out. I love Glenn Morshower. He's from 24. He was like Mike. He was like the coolest guy. I just know him as Mike. He's Captain Henry Davis in this. He's one of the police captains. I just think of him as Mike from 24. He was like the guy that like loyally fought by the president's side even when the president was a loser. He like take a bullet for the president. He's just awesome. So
he's in. Oh, I feel like that's like
Mike Pierce
gets typecast as that role.
Yes, he does. He just fits the. Although if you watch The Island, he's a helicopter pilot. We don't fly in bad weather. Never forget that soundbite. So, guys, would you recommend The Little Things? I would say the director should take our notes very seriously and redo this movie, and we'll watch it.
I would.
Who are we to criticize? It's just,
but I think you got to go in with the right expectations. Like, I went in with no expectations, which is normally good. But like I don't know what I was expecting. But then like I don't know, it was kind of like unsatisfying when I got mad like Zodiac and Seven vibes where I'm like, this is gonna be an amazing like third act and fulfillment, and then it just like was like good but not great, and I was like,
The movie's already 2 hours and 8 minutes. Like,
well, I just
have it.
I think you should watch the other better ones first, and if you've already seen all the other serial killer movies and you like those, then watch this. Like, I think you should watch, Zodiac first and Seven, and then Manhunter, Silence of the Lambs. There's just way better ones, but this one's
that's fair to mention.
It's
still enjoyable if you like serial killer movies. So I love. I mean, even the worst of serial killer movies, I still love.
Yeah, dude, that's my weakness.
Yeah. I like it. So, and then, we can't wait for Last Night in Soho. That's going to be a serial killer movie, I'm guessing, by Edgar Wright.
Yeah. No, it doesn't look like. Well, oh yeah, that's right, it is. But it's also a mixture of like time, like people.
Time travel,
Yeah, I know, Cameron's dude. It's got like all the.
It's going to be Happy Death Day.
It's got everything I want.
Happy Death Day, directed by Edgar Wright.
Yeah, it's got everything you want, Cameron.
Time travel. It's got serial killer and it's Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright.
Young.
I'm young. Time travel serial killer movie.
It's got a pretty solid cast too.
Did you like the Happy Death Day, Cameron?
I did like it.
You like those?
I really enjoyed. The first one was really, really good. The second one I enjoyed. It was just a little too copy paste, but it was still really good.
And not just that, I also have so many questions. We should do the second one because I called Jordan and I was yelling at him. It's like, I'm sorry, but like if you woke up and you saw another person of yourself from a different time, your first thought is to kill said person? Like, okay, like your fabric space-time continuum doesn't seem to be altered in any way, and your first thought is still to kill him. Look, it's like a Rick and Morty episode that I just watched last night.
Yes.
Just kill them. They're gonna kill us. They're the decoy family.
You would
we
know
have to
that
kill
if
each
you
other.
weren't the
That
clone.
reminded me of Invincible. Yeah, you would know
Yeah.
if you were the clone. Nice work.
Yeah,
for
is it
clone.
I'm not the
new
clone, I'm
Rick
the
and Morty
original.
episodes, Ty, reminding you of Invincible? It's so
Oh,
funny.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, a
are,
little bit,
are the Rick and Morty
decoy.
episodes out?
No,
Yeah.
but well, yeah, Cameron. Episode 1 and 2, they're out right now.
I'm young. I
Yeah,
know, I'm
watch
doing it
a
tonight.
season 5. Yeah, dude, watch episode 1 is really funny, but 2 is so funny. 2 is my
I like
favorite
one better.
so far.
I like one better.
Oh, you like 1 better? I have to see 1 again. Jordan, I went back and rewatched 2 like a second time.
Oh, I
It was
did.
so
I
funny.
watched I watched that a second
Yeah.
time, but I watched the first one 3 times. Just that, not the. I didn't care for Mr. Nimbus, but I liked
Yeah,
the sequence between that with Morty going back in time.
Oh, okay. See, yeah, that was good. But see, I still
No spoils,
yeah,
no spoils, no
yeah,
spoils.
I agree. See, Nimbus was too distracting for me, so I like the second one.
You know,
because
Jim
the whole
Gaffigan did
premise-
one of the voices of
Yes.
the guy.
Yes, he did. Yep. In fact, Jim Gaffigan was also in the movie Luca. He was the dad looking for his son.
I haven't seen
Guys,
Luca yet. I need
watch
to see it.
Luca. It is so.
Do you think
sweet.
we need to do it on the pod?
I recommend. I mean, it's like I don't want to overhype it, but I liked it as much as like Coco or any other Pixar movie. It's so sweet. It's so
Okay.
funny.
Maybe we should
it's
do it.
so much fun. Highly recommend it. So
Coco
you
was
guys-
pretty solid.
If you like Coco, well,
I
it's
love
as good
Coco.
as Coco. I liked it. I probably like it more. It's like Up, Coco. You know, it's that veneer
Show
of.
a throwing in up.
No, slow down, Cameron. It's Pixar and Disney. And again, I'm gonna say it now. You're gonna be like, dude, I didn't like it as much as.
Well, but I didn't like
I don't
Tanya
know.
or whatever, or Tara.
Raya, yeah.
Raya.
Tanya, you clearly didn't like it. You don't know
Tanya.
its name. I didn't like Tanya, Tara.
Yeah, Jordan's thinking
Raya.
about I, Tonya with Margot
Raya.
Robbie.
That was good.
No, I'm with you, Jordan.
That was
Raya
good.
was okay. Raya
That's
the
one of
Last Dragon.
Sebastian Stan's best performances. I
don't
love
know.
watching Sebastian Stan be a loser in I, Tonya. It's
Oh,
Winter
I, Tonya.
Soldier.
Oh, okay. I still need to see I, Tonya.
Oh, that's a
Anyway,
good one.
guys, Luca, really good. So, movies that you've seen lately, movies that you want to throw out real quick. Share with us, Jordan, Cameron, what you've seen lately, movies you're looking forward to seeing.
Okay. I haven't watched a lot lately. I was gone last week for the podcast. I was working as an EFY counselor, so I've been kind of hectic and busy. But I watched Dragged Across the Concrete with Jordo.
We'll be talking about that at the end of the next month. So
It kind of reminded me of The Town mixed with Brawl and Cell Block.
there's just a bunch of moments in Dragged Across Concrete. You're like, okay, a bit excessive, and you were like, just skip this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What scenes were they?
They were cutting open his stomach.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Can we get a little bit of like a cutaway? Gosh dang, bro. We're
Dude,
seeing
just
him like
just wait
scoop
till
out
you
his
watch Bone
stomach.
Tomahawk, Cameron, for the pod.
Oh my gosh, Bone Tomahawk.
It reminded me of what's it called? What's that movie where Robert Downey Jr. is a black person and then he's like holding. He's like, oh my.
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder. That opening scene. He's like, my intestines.
Put him back inside me.
And then I watched.
Dude, they're still trying to cancel him for that performance for doing blackface. Guys, watch the movie. You clearly do not understand the movie.
Still,
Very
that's-
much
it-
making the
that-
point. It
Screw
drives
cancel
the point
culture,
home.
dude. Seriously, it's so stupid.
The problem with cancel culture is that they don't understand satire. They are literally making the point that you're driving home with this. Like, we don't give it black actors enough time, and it's literally a white actor portraying the black. Like, that's the
That's what-
joke.
Ty,
He took
that's
it
what-
from
that's-
some African American chap. Like, anyway, whatever. I'm just
So
saying
that's
the
what,
movie's
that, my
hilarious.
favorite. My favorite meme I ever saw was a person asking, it was like, who would play Iron Man if he was black? And then someone said Robert Downey Jr. He's like, no, I meant if he was black. And then they sent that picture and he said, I know, Robert Downey Jr.
Who would play him if he was black?
Iron
Robert Downey
Man.
Jr.
Yeah, Black Iron Man would be played by Robert Downey Jr. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is the
that is
funniest
so
shit
funny.
I've ever seen.
I know who I am. I'm the dude disguised playing another dude. Freaking love that dude.
And
So
then
funny.
I watched I watched The Departed with Landon and Drew. Wasn't as amazing and jaw dropping as the first one, but still loved it. Still a 10 out of 10 film. You can't beat the first time when fetching Mark Wahlberg just comes in and just poof. Oh,
That's funny
so
you say that because
satisfying.
I actually liked it better watching it the second time. The first time I was actually very depressed and I was like, this movie's so depressing.
See, but the second wasn't the second time you watched it with me?
No, I've seen it so many times.
Which one is
Oh.
this one? What's the movie?
The Departed.
Oh, The Departed. Sorry, I thought for a second you said Pain and Gain. I don't know why I thought that. I was like, well, yeah, bleak movie, but
A Michael
really
Bay
dark.
movie?
Yeah, the Michael Bay one. So yeah,
Pain and Gain.
Departed.
Okay, and then the last movie I saw, I watched last night was Midsommar, which,
yeah.
man, that director Ari Aster.
I can't wait
needs
to do that on
psychological
episode.
help.
I love
But-
Midsommar.
Dude, yeah, you see Hereditary, Cameron. He has demons, man. Yeah.
He knows how to make like you uneasy. Oh my gosh.
Even around a maypole. Yeah. Dun,
Yeah,
dun, 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 everybody dance in a
dude,
circle.
the music, and then there was the shots. Dude, the cinematography in that movie is fucking
So
ridiculous.
cool.
Like when
It
it's
was
like
really
flipped
good.
upside down, I'm like, what the fudge? And then like when they're tripping on acid or whatever the fudge they're taking. Yeah, me and Landon were talking about the message of the movie, and we're like, number one message of the movie: don't ever, what's called, eat any food or drink anything from strangers. And I totally noticed his cup was different color than everyone else's. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's that fetching drink that they showed in the beginning. Don't drink that shiz, homie. Fetching got pube hair in there.
It's to allure him, Cameron. Yeah. Yeah. Yikes. Yeah, wasn't it terrifying though, seeing him all splayed out and his skin all hung to dry? I don't know. I didn't find it that scary. What does it all mean, Cameron? What does the movie mean at the end? Is she smiling? Why? Why is she smiling?
It's okay. We'll get to
found-
dive into it later.
She found her people. That's why. I saw a movie called Akira. Have you heard of this? It's a
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Japanese anime cartoon. I know, or I think it's Japanese. Yeah, Neo Tokyo. It's really good. Holy crap! It's like without it, I don't think you had things like Stranger Things. I don't think you would have had movies like Chronicle. You know, all the telekinetic, gifted children. You wouldn't have had Stephen King's The Institute. You know, all these things that I love that are really relevant in pop culture right now. I'm like, Akira did it first. It's a really good story. It's compelling. It's got great characters, great acting.
Did
And
it shock
mind
you when it was like, because I was like not expecting them to like that chick. I was like, what the fudge?
Like when they're harassing her, right? But they
Yeah.
stop her. They stop but yeah.
What movie are y'all talking about? What the fudge?
It's
did I
called
just walk
Akira,
into?
yeah. It's called Akira. They tried to harass her, but they stopped them.
Yeah,
So
but it's still
the chick-
disturbing. I'm like, this is a cartoon. Like, what's going on?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, it is dark. Like it's Neo
There's some
Tokyo. and
violence, too. I was
It's
like, holy
after
fudge.
Hiroshima, and it's like this alternate universe where like Tokyo like has gifted children that have like it's a telekinetic ability, and it's really cool. Like it's a lot like Stranger Things meets Chronicle, the movie Chronicle. If you guys like those telekinetic stories, it's a
I
great
hated
one.
Chronicle.
I like
You
it.
really? You didn't like Chronicle? Kim?
Space Needle one.
No.
Or yeah, when
Oh.
he gets the Seattle Space Needle and he just like yams it through
Oh,
somebody's chest. I was like, what
I forgot
the
about
hell?
that. I forgot about that. Yeah, but I thought that, yeah.
I think that was the first PG-13 movie I ever watched, and I watched it at a friend's house when I wasn't supposed to be, and then I was just like kind of terrified.
yeah. So yeah, but this one's I don't know.
I was like,
I
I was like
it more.
9.
I like it more. Like,
Or like 11
it's
or
it's really well told, and I really enjoy it. So that's something I've been watching. Really like it.
Do you know Jordan Peele was on to possibly do a remake for it?
Oh, of Akira, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I
Would
think
they
he
do a
turned it. I
cartoon
think he
or they
turned
do-
it down though because he was like,
Yeah.
"This is too."
Oh,
I don't
dude,
know.
like, how do you live up to the hype of like something like that? Like, I watched it. I'm like, this isn't a beautiful animated film. Like, as far as like, because I sometimes don't like the whole like stigma around. Like, for me, it's hard for me to overcome. Like when I'm like, I just don't understand the rules. This one's very easier to understand. I love movies that have like grounded in reality, but there's like supernatural elements. But sometimes when you just like introduce your movie, like I was so worried to watch Death Note because they like the trailer shows like the characters like billowing in the air and standing on skyscrapers and with supernatural power. It's like no, it's very simple. It's like the real world. He has a book that allows him to kill people. That's it. Like it's very grounded, and then it's a detective catching the killer. But like sometimes you see these movies and they can like inexplicably fly. Like that's why I had a really hard time with One Punch Man, even though it is a satire on
I love
superhero
One Punch
films.
Man.
I just don't understand
So
the
fun.
rules. I guess
I
don't
can't
know.
wait to do that on the pod. It's amazing.
Yeah. And then you'll make me watch it all.
Watch Attack on Titan. It makes even less sense.
I know, right? Yeah, some of these
Does
shows.
gravity just not work
Yeah, it-
sometimes?
and again, for artistic expression, I understand some of that. Anyway, I just get lost. I'm still bitter about Spirited Away. I think it's a great movie, but
No.
I just had a really hard time understanding it. It's a masterpiece. Ooh, very good. I'm racist enough, guys, as it is. We've got, what about you, Jordan? You seen anything lately?
Just been watching all the stuff that's coming up on the pod, because I'm like so excited for so many good movies coming up and good movies coming out. I've just been watching everything we're gonna do. Like next week,
yeah.
we're doing
Good,
Mad
good.
Max. Oh, we're doing 1, 2, and Fury Road.
Furry Road, man.
Because
We're doing 1, 2, and Fury Road.
yeah, because I after watching them, I'm like, these are all masterpieces. They're so good. They're so good.
What about Thunderdome? Is that 2?
That's number 3.
3? We're not watching that one?
It's got one really good scene where they're fighting inside the Thunderdome. That's dope. You can just watch that scene.
You mean the titular part of the movie is the central...
I might actually like it rewatching it
Takeaway.
because the second one I didn't like, but I watched it last night and I'm like, this is a masterpiece.
Dude, Mad Max. Oh, that was another one I was going to mention. I think Mad Max made my top 10 list, but George Miller, I'm like, it's between Mad Max and Babe 2. Babe Takes the City. Like, I'm like, that was another one that did make my list.
Quite the difference of genre.
Oh,
what
dude.
the F?
Cameron, you're talking about he was 77 when he made freaking Fury Road, Cameron. And that movie kicked more than all of the action movies combined that year in the last decade. I'm just saying, like, Fury Road was such a cool movie. I saw it twice in theaters being like, I remember with all my pest control buddies, we would like do the symbol, like praying to the wheel, interlock your fingers overhead.
What a beautiful day.
What a lovely day. Yeah, we loved it.
Did you know they announced, I mean, there's a trailer out. Did you see it for Don't Breathe 2?
Don't Breathe. Wait, which one's Don't Breathe?
It's with the blind guy in the house and they break in.
Oh, Don't Breathe? Are you serious? There's
Yeah.
a sequel to that one?
Yeah, I'll send you the trailer. It's pretty dope.
Oh, yeah, okay. Can't wait to see it.
But it's like you're rooting for him to kill the other people. It's really weird.
Oh, interesting. He's kind of he's taken on like a whole new identity where he's like Jason Voorhees. I could see this being a real big problem, but I would be interested if it's like a prequel, right?
It's a prequel.
Called it. So yeah, it's going to be the story where he kidnaps the woman he has to incubate his daughter, or
Well, no,
his
it's
child,
about
right?
who kills his daughter, right? Because doesn't somebody kill his daughter first?
Well, yeah, there's a car accident, and then he ends up kidnapping this woman that came
Oh,
to
maybe this
apologize.
story isn't before. I don't know.
Oh, wait. Well, yeah. Well, so he has a child, he loses the child, then he kidnaps the woman that comes to
I don't know,
apologize.
dude.
Okay, you can figure this out later.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can figure this out later, man. Shut up. Okay, but interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that too, Jordan. Love it.
Okay,
so
I'm freaking looking forward to watching Rick and Morty.
yeah, you watched Rick and Morty episode 1 and episode 2, and then every I think
And then I'm
Monday
gonna finish
there's
The
an episode.
Revenant because I started The Revenant and it's freaking insane.
Oh my gosh, Revenant, dude.
I got 6 minutes in and someone got an arrow through the face and I was like, oh, I'm in for a wild ride.
Yeah,
A
for
wild
sure.
wide.
A wild
Yeah,
ride.
I was gonna say
wild
trip
ride.
and then ride. And
A wild
Whiskey.
twide. A wild twide,
I
twide,
lost
tweet,
it.
tweet, twip. We love you, Cameron. Hey, we love all speech impediments here. We don't judge. This is Futro Hidden Movie Gems. Leave us an email, futuremovies@gmail.com. Leave us a 5-star review. Check us out on Spotify. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. Leave us a like, review, comment, and tell us a movie that you'd like us to review. If you like the little things, tell us the little things that we could do better to improve the podcast.
Check us out on Patreon.
And take it easy, everybody. This is Futuro Hidden Movie Gems signing out. Peace. It's the little things, Jordan.